Autism has made a huge impact in my life. I have 4 children. My second oldest has autism. He's 20 years old now.
My son John is 18 years old, and we have known that he is autistic since he was 3, although we were pretty suspicious before that. He is one of the happiest people I've ever known.
My son's presented us with incredible challenges, but incredible joys. The first time you hear this child speak when he's 5 years old, and he's never said a word in his life, it's a miracle. It's something that most people will never ever have a sense to feel that miracle. My son wasn't potty trained until he was 16, and you can believe me, that was a miracle from heaven when he finally figured that one out.
It's extremely stressful to not know what your child understands or knows. It's very scary to not know what's going to happen to your child when you're not here anymore. Currently, my biggest frustration is the fact that there's very little in our community for someone Jonathan's age. When he was little, there were so many things. And there are even more things now for the little ones because it's so much more prevalent. But you kind of hit the age of 13 and they just don't know what to do for you anymore.
John is autistic and he's nonverbal, and it's hard to know, how much he thinks about things or even his IQ, but it doesn't mean that he's not in there. And he knows the difference when an activity or a task is kind of just made up or when it's something real with a productive result. And that's huge for him.
There's a whole community of autistic individuals that are growing up to be autistic adults. They can't drive, they can't be by themselves, they need to have constant care, and they deserve to have a quality of life like the rest of us.
Because there is an enormous population of people with autism who are aging into adulthood and nowhere for them to go. And as a parent of both an autistic child and typical children, that's an enormously frightening prospect, because even if I could live to 100, he will outlive me. What I don't want to have happen for him is I don't want to have him be 50 years old and used to our routines and used to the way we do things, and then I'm gone, and then he has to adjust at that point. With Echoing Hope, I can be part of it. I can help him transition. I can see that he's happy and used to it. I can be part of his life for as long as I possibly can. And then when I go, he will have a place where it's home. He will never have to leave home.
Echoing Hope Ranch is that place that will allow them to have that quality of life and feel like they are worthwhile and deserve to be here like the rest of us.
What I want for John is not really any different at all than what I want for my other kids. I want him to be able to grow and change and try different things and be satisfied and productive and happy.
This San Pedro River site for Echoing Hope Ranch is going to be set up for people that can be fairly independent but still need significant support. Right now it's a bed and breakfast, but Echoing Hope Ranch is trying to purchase a property to make it a residential facility for adults with autism. So here we have 4 homes. We've got greenhouses, we've got a wood shop, we've got a wonderful building we can use for day activities or employment services, different things like that.
There will be a big kitchen there, there will be an office there. There's so many different opportunities for all sorts of different things to learn and do and try. A typical day in my mind's eye at Echoing Hope would include as much independence as is possible for each person who lives there.
Well, I hope a day in the life of a person living at the ranch would be exactly like a day in the life of any other person in this world. They get up and they have to get ready for whatever their whatever their work is going to be, whether it's at the ranch or out in the community. They have to make their breakfast and clean up and eventually go to whatever work it might be. And if they're working at the ranch, it may be taking care of animals or working in the gardens. It may be picking fruit and canning and cooking. There's so many activities they can do, but eventually, ultimately, it would be just like everybody else's life.